everybody, my name is Luke Marr and this is Hot La Mode, and today on Hot La Mode we are coming to you with a February 2022 fashion roast and review. Without further ado, let's just get right into it. There's no point putzing around. So first up we have Adele. Now listen, she's in her 30 era. She's doing fashion for herself. It's kind of like that beautiful subtle luxury without it being like the Row, Hermes, Phoebe Philo, Celine. It's more Alaïa, like this look. Now this, from my understanding, is a turtleneck cocktail dress in a leopard, and then on top of that is a leopard coat with what looks like sort of like cowhide sleeves, or the back end of it, or the back end of the sleeves at least, are cowhide. I'm not sure if it's pony hair, calf hair, something along those sort of lines, but from my understanding it's very expensive because all of Alaïa is expensive. All of it. Even when you buy it secondhand, it's expensive. The thing that I like about Adele, though, in this sort of new era is she's not afraid to try things out. I mean, like, we've seen her wear Christopher John Rogers in the past. I think she's also worn Harris Reed. There is kind of like a good showing going on here. I also think with Alaïa under Peter Moulier, there's a lot more of a focus on celebrity dressing. I also feel like in the same way as Rihanna or a Beyonce, Adele is at a place where if brands are like, we don't want to loan to you, or which I think they would, but if they're saying, we don't want to loan to you, like you'd have to buy, you'd have to purchase, I don't think that's a problem either whatsoever. So this beautiful coat and little turtleneck dress situation at a basketball game, it just feels very chic, very elegant, very sort of regal, and at the same time, it's, again, not this like muted, boring, stark, minimal experience. No, it does have texture, it does have motif, it does have, you know, even elements of like her little tights, which is like a very British thing, I've come to realize. I feel like a video quite some time ago I was like, who wears tights? And then I thought about it and I was like, British women love tights. Love. Obsessed. Would die for. I think honestly it's a really nice way of going about doing like beautiful, luxurious pieces, but without them feeling boring. And also only she could like sit alone at a basketball game and be like, I'm wearing Alaïa and I feel bored. And I'm like, I get it. Next up is Amanda Seyfried. Now she is wearing a Oscar de la Renta off the shoulder, sort of like gigot sleeve, blue velvet cocktail dress. Now this is for The Dropout, which is a Hulu show. And here's my problem with this. And it's not actually with Oscar de la Renta. My problem is Oscar de la Renta has been doing really good red carpet dressing where they take whatever the sort of film or movie or whatever, and they sort of adapt their styles to fit in with that. We would call that method dressing. And the thing is, I feel like Oscar would have done that for The Dropout because it's about Elizabeth Holmes, who, to be honest, I really don't know enough about her to like accurately sit here and say that I know enough about her, but I'm pretty positive that she dressed more like how I'm looking, not in Courage. Didn't have that good of a taste. I feel like it would have been interesting to see an Oscar de la Renta take on that, whereas this blue velvet dress, maybe in the show, I haven't watched, I don't know, but it just doesn't seem to like scream out Elizabeth Holmes. So my thing is it bad dress? Like, not particularly, although I think the front ruffle that falls over the bust is maybe not amazing because it kind of confuses the viewer. I kind of wish that there was a little bit more look, and so I kind of don't blame Oscar because I have a feeling that with Oscar they kind of were like, we should do something fun, and then maybe Amanda was kind of like, we're gonna do simple. So I wish maybe in my theory we had listened to Oscar, the team. Although, like, if Oscar was calling from the grave, I'd pick up the phone. Next up is Anitta in a Valentino Haute Couture spring 2022 look, aka the opening look. It's a black cocktail dress. It has an intriguing plunge and shows off the cleavage. It's a cocktail dress, and then there's like a little lettuce hem frill at the bottom. It does have like a little bit of a bed skirt feel to it, but like I think it is kind of chic. I think the fact that it's a little frilled gives a little texture. It's kind of intriguing. The other thing is, for that collection, it was kind of about like making clothes that fit, and I think here it fits beautifully. She looks great. Also, I think with the tights, it adds a little bit of intrigue, a little bit of sort of like boudoir sexiness. And the thing about Anitta is, like, listen, have I only listened to the one song where it's like, and it's like the girl from Ipanema, but it's the girl from Brazil? Yes. So like my whole thing is maybe that's what Anitta is going for. It's kind of like very sexy. And if that's the idea, great. If it's not the idea, not great. But I think that's kind of what we were going for, is just nice dress that looks really, really wonderful, has an interesting little boudoir sort of sensibility to it with the gloves and the tights, and I'm fine with it. Next up is Ariana DeBose. Now she is wearing Alexander McQueen, if you couldn't tell. Bedazzled everything kind of, speaks to that. Now there's a cropped jacket here that is covering what I believe is some sort of tulle or netted dress situation going on. It's very frilly and full. And then there is a crystallized tight situation. And honestly, I actually like this. I haven't seen a lot of Ariana DeBose looks that I've felt are appropriate for her. Not because like it's her fault, but because I think oftentimes like the things don't fit good and that annoys me. I think that honestly, the mixture of this idea of masculine tailoring with the sort of frilly, feminine sort of dress situation going on actually like fits here really, really beautifully. And also the way that they took the photo so that you have this sort of like beautiful, hair situation going on that sort of mirrors that idea. It's lovely. I do think that the embroidery that is going on in the sort of crystallization speaks to Sarah Burton's work in recent years. And then I think the tights, honestly, are actually very smart. I feel like the rest of the look in and of itself is kind of plain Jane for a fashion set. For the everyday person, maybe it's a little bit much. But for a fashion set, you're like, oh, I've seen it. Okay, got it. But I think the tights give it that sort of little oomph, that little kick. They're beautifully encrusted. It looks like she's been wrapped up in, I don't know, chains and diamonds and all these sorts of things. And it sort of is a different eye-catching attention getter, which I don't think we get a lot of that with tights. Usually they're sort of an accessory to the look, not meant to be a main sort of focus. So honestly, I think this look actually is perfect. I think it's super, super duper well done. I'm not saying that I want an invite to the Alexander McQueen show when it's in New York, but like if they were gonna offer it to me, I would take it. And actually, like I do like this look, so I'm not saying that just for that reason, I promise. Next up, Blake Lively wearing Sergio Hudson. Now I know a lot of you are gonna be like, so boring, so blah. Why are we even talking about this? For the most part, normally say like, yeah, I agree. Here's the thing with Sergio. It's nice clothes. You know what I mean? And when I say that it's nice clothes, I just mean like it's nice clothes. There are certain designers that I think are a-okay to do that. Usually they're American designers because like the commerciality thing, it sticks with us. Here, it's a high-waisted, beautiful sort of wide leg pant with a nicely fitted jacket with a silk lining, gorge, and then a little silky plunging blouse. Done. I think the color is amazing. It's like a beautiful royally eggplant aubergine. Also, we have to understand the Sergio Hudson brand. Sergio Hudson is sold at Bergdorf Goodman. Now, for those of you who've never been to Bergdorf Goodman, that's your problem. But it's located at 57th and 5th. That's like the ladies who lunch. That's where they go. That's where they hang out, not to lunch. They go and they shop at Bergdorf's because like they have oodles of money and they just need to buy clothes that like isn't really boundary pushing. That's kind of what it is. Bergdorf is great. I do love it. I do think it's wonderful, but it has sort of an emphasis on luxury and sort of craftsmanship and all of these sorts of things. So the thing is, beautifully made clothes. It looks stunning. It looks gorgeous. This is who he's trying to sort of speak to. And Blake Lively is never really trying to like do crazy avant-garde kooky over the top. If that's what she's doing and it fits her well and it looks nice and it's made beautifully, I'm not going to complain. I could try. You know me. I could try. Next up, we have Ciara. She's wearing Roberto Cavalli. Now, this is from fall 2021, I believe. I think it's gorge. It's very, very simple, I guess, for Cavalli, except for the fact that, like, it's obviously a double-slitted dress, and it has a sort of panel down the front, but there's some sort of, like, short or, like, little skirt action going on, so the hoo-ha is not out and about, which I respect, I understand. But the subtlety of Cavalli, which, like, isn't a sentence that you normally say, really comes in with the way that these little tiger teeth are sort of lining to the bust cups. And the boots in and of themselves are leather knee highs that are covered also in this like pierced tiger fang claw. I don't know which one it actually is. Also the heels, I don't know if you guys can see them, but they're also fangs. So like that's fun. We love that. That was super easy. Honestly, I think this season for fall 2021, it was an okay season. And this is one of the better looks from the collection. It's very sensual. It's very sexy. It's really, really nice. I think it fits her beautifully. Like I'm not going to complain. Also fall 2022 that just came out was gorgeous. So like we're moving in the right directions over at Roberto Cavalli. So like this is great. Ciara looks stunning. Don't really need anything else. Next up, we have Dua Lipa wearing Mugler. I love this. I think this is like one of the best looks of the month. And it's really because it's a performance look. And oftentimes I don't think performance looks are usually good. They're usually always made in sort of stretch material. They're not really amazing look-wise. They usually are like a catsuit or a bodysuit or a da-da-da. And it just doesn't have like an appeal. Whereas I think Casey Cadwallader has done an amazing job of giving these performance pieces the ability for Dua Lipa to perform, although like the with the leg, you know, the shaking the leg. Like, Dua's not like a, you know, intense performer from my understanding, but I don't know anything about performing. It's not like she needs to be doing 75 somersaults in a row, I don't know, backflips in a row. But I do think that the way that this is done is stunning, because I know that if she were to do 75 somersaults and then backflips in a row, it would probably stand the test of time. But the best part, in my opinion, is the adding of these little shimmery crystals, so that any point that Dua Lipa moved, even if it was just like a little millimeter, she was like sparkling, she was levitating. I do genuinely think that the look is great. Maybe the shoes I'm not obsessed with. Besides that, Casey sort of taking his signature style, which people have been like, I'm bored of that. And I've seen it. And giving it that little zhuzh, making it a little bit more exciting with somebody that has been supporting the brand from very early on. I love it. I genuinely think it's one of the best moments. A style that both in photos and in movement really like delivers an experience is one that we should appreciate. I think this is that. Next up, we have Jennifer Lopez, and she's wearing Grace Ling, who is a designer I have not heard of, but the look is cute. This little low-rise skirt that's held up by all these strings. It sort of creates like a V shape on the pelvis. There's a little bra and a little bolero jacket attached. It looks nice. She looks great. Jennifer Lopez, I think, is consistently proving she can wear whatever the fuck she wants, and we all just kind of have to eat it. Also, I think the stylist recently, whoever it is, has been churning it out, and I'm about it. Like, there was a moment where I was like, oh, J.Lo, oh no. And now I'm like, oh, J.Lo. Oh no. Oh, also Maluma's there. So like, he's in teal. Love him. Next up is Kerry Washington. She's wearing Zuhair Murad. She just looks beautiful. Like, there's not really anything else to like say. It's a beautifully draped sort of pink gown with little sort of capped sleeve situation, although it's like not actually a cap sleeve. It's almost like a robe sleeve or a caped sleeve. The draping is gorge, you know, in movement. There's video from La Roche of like her just moving and grooving about. She looks done. She does look gorgeous. She does look beautiful. The pink is a lovely color. The draping situation is growing on me, you know what I mean? Like antiquity, Greco-Roman, V&A, Madame Grey. I can't fight it any longer. Luke, you've gone soft. And it's like, no, I just think I've been educated. I was a dummy before this, so like, still am a dummy. Yeah, overall, I think it's nice. I think she looks gorgeous. Do I obviously want like a little bit more excitement, a little bit more like history, a little bit, you know, that? Of course. Next up is Janae Aiko, and she's wearing David Coma, who is a British designer, and this, I believe, is at the Super Bowl. I didn't watch the Super Bowl. I did watch the halftime show, but I did not watch the Super Bowl. It's a brown sequin gown with a very high slit, and like, for what it is, it's fit really, really well. It looks really gorgeous. It looks like it's been not even like draped on her, but just like poured on her. I will say though, kind of would have been smarter to go for like a Joffrey Bean route, if you know what I mean. He put like beautiful sequin football number gowns. That would have been really, really intriguing, really fun, really different. Speaking of Ciara, she wore a similar sort of vibe the Met Gala this year, and I think that would have just been like a beautiful little moment for Janae Aiko to be like, ooh, shit, that's iconic. So yeah, I feel like that was maybe a little bit of a wasted opportunity on everybody's part. Next up, we have Kim Kardashian on the cover of American Vogue for the March issue, I believe. She's wearing Loewe. This is spring 2022. It is pretty much like a rib knit tank top dress that has been given a body armor reflective piece of metal attachment. And now I've seen the looks in real life, so like they genuinely are attached. It's not some sort of like optical illusion. Literally, like you knock on it and it makes like a noise. It is very intriguing. It's very different. I feel like everybody's gonna be like, what the f? That's so weird. But like Jonathan Anderson at Loewe, Jonathan Anderson anywhere. Like Jonathan Anderson at Loewe, it's like art. There are very few designers that really are doing artsy, fartsy kind of shit, and he's one of them. And so like when you get it, it's kind of like, all right, I'm gonna sit with this. Like you'd sit with, I don't know, a Rothko, George O'Keeffe, Jacob Lawrence. You gotta think about it a little bit more. So do I know exactly what he was thinking? No. Do I feel like it was something about the pandemic and sort of this like coming out of the pandemic and sort of trying to be kooky and crazy and over the top and all that sort of stuff? Yeah, I'm pretty positive that's like what the brief was for the collection, more or less. I like to see Kim doing more avant-garde stuff. It's more intriguing, it's more interesting, it's more exciting, it's more reputable, it's more something you actually like want to see versus the same old bullshit blah blah. Appreciable. So if some of you are looking for me to talk about some of Kim Kardashian's other outfits from Fashion Month, there is a Fashion Month specific celebrity roast and review coming. So if you really want to know what I think about Kim Kardashian wearing that Prada boiler suit, that will come. Please do not worry. Next up is Maluma. Now, he was in the movie Marry Me. Why? You should Google that. This look is by Grayscale, which is a brand I don't know anything about, so let's discuss. It's essentially a green houndstooth style coat, and then it has some sort of black polka dot sort of situation that goes over one of the lapels, one side of this coat, and then one sleeve. So it's trying to be different. I think that there are better looks for Maluma. I do, genuinely. I feel like Maluma doesn't give it like in the way that he should. And now I know a lot of you are going to be like, what do you mean? And I'm going to be like, listen, here's my thing. Bad Bunny, it's a serve usually. Like Bad Bunny knows how to do it. Maluma, I feel like, relies on the fact that he is hot and sexy, and that's great. And I love that for him. But like fashion moment, you know what I mean? Like style, gorgeous, thoughtful, intellectual, stunning, crisp, never been seen before, done. God, like that's what I think we need a little bit of from Maluma. Listen, don't think that I don't creep the Instagram, but deliver a little something more so we can be like, oh my god, wait, hot and smart and stylish? Woo! Okay, cool, got it. Wow. That's my thing for Maluma. Like, I get the white turtleneck with the baggy sort of pant and the Air Force One and the coat, but like, I want more. I need more. I deserve more. Because we would say this about anybody else that's like a beautiful, stunning, gorgeous woman on the red carpet. So like, why can't we say it about Maluma? Next up, Mary J. Blige. She is wearing a custom Dundas look. Now, she wore this to perform at the Super Bowl. I like the fact that we went for like the leopard spot situation. You know what I mean? Like they're sewn on and there's the cutout sort of little silver pieces and that makes up the spots. I do really appreciate that. Again, I think when we were talking about Dua Lipa earlier and I was bringing up the whole performance wear oftentimes doesn't always look super duper exciting. I think this is that sort of moment. I almost kind of wish it was maybe like a full catsuit, you know, like the bodysuit, the thigh highs, I just feel like we see a lot. And I just maybe wish we had done something a little bit different. You know what I mean? Like I do appreciate where it's going. I do appreciate where it's come from. Like I do think the fact that it's the silver sort of leopard spots over the white with the embellishments and the embroidery throughout is good. I just wish maybe like a little bit more had been done. Next up is Nicki Minaj. She is wearing Roberto Cavalli. Now this is a look from fall 2021. In the lookbook image, you can see that this dress is sort of like a black fronted dress. It has the cutout in the back and then on the rear, there is the leopard. Nicki Minaj obviously is wearing a custom fit style and I think it looks great on her. Also, I feel like Nicki is back in her fashion era. Like she's here, she's doing it, she's looking stunned, gorgeous, amazing. And I want to see like more of this because I think this is a moment. Like I think she looks great. I think she looks stunning. Also, I feel like Nicki is a great example of like who Fausto Pugliese and Cavalli are trying to like speak to. It is very sort of sexy. It is very exciting. It is a little bit sort of renegade and rebellious and like unafraid to like not do what everybody else wants them to do. And so I think with Nicki, this is like a perfect situation. It makes a lot of sense. I think it's done. Also, like her butt looks great. The leopard should be ever so grateful to be there. I do genuinely think it's a nice look. When I saw it, I was like, I didn't even see the front of it. Normally I only like to see, I want to see the front, but I was like, it looks great. So we're going to talk about just the back. Thank you. Next up, let's talk about Rihanna. She is wearing a full custom The Aiko look. Now, this is from, I believe, the spring 2022 lookbook or collection, etc., but it was done custom for Rihanna because, like, again, Rihanna is a custom woman. Like, Rihanna says design, they say how much. She says cut, they say how many yards. She says sew, they say what kind of stitch. That's how it works. So this green top full of whatever crystally beady sort of strings and a crop top situation that also like showcases the fact that she is currently with child is like amazing. I think it's super fun. I also love the fact that, again, with Rihanna, pregnancy thing, like it's not going to change how she dresses at all. Like she's just going to do her usual shtick of like looking great. And also I just like happen to have a baby bump and that's that. So like deal with it. Pants also I think are really, really great. The fact that they gradient in color from this gray into like a little burgundy sort of situation, although like gradient is maybe dramatic for me to say. It's more like it goes from gray and then it's sort of burgundy. I think it works. I think it's dramatic. I think it's also Rihanna. It's a styling sort of situation that you just kind of have to understand. And like pregnancy thing I think is really like shifted the vibes. Like we're just like, oh, Rihanna, you look stunned. You look amazing. You look gorgeous. What are you doing with yourself? So I'm very happy about this. looks amazing. Next up, we have Robert Pattinson. Now, this is for the Batman premiere, or one of the Batman premieres. Here he is wearing Jill Sander. It's pretty much a large oversized jacket with a little bit of a baggy pant and a big black shoe and a black turtleneck. Nothing crazy, nothing spectacular, nothing weird or wild or wonderful, but it's very Jill Sander. It's very sort of minimal, very sort of nice, good quality, succulent fabrics, although like I wouldn't suck on the fabric, but like they're gorgeous, they're desirable, they're lovely. I'm intrigued by it. I have to say, I'm sure that it's beautifully made. That's one thing about Jill Sander that you can always sort of count on, that it's done quite well. I don't mind this Robert Pattinson moment. I think the large jacket is coming into fashion 100%, and it seems like it's both for men and for women. We saw it recently at Peter Doe women's wear for fall 2022. Seems like a Jill Sander. It's also going for a large oversized sort of vibe too, so you know, watch out for your incredibly large blazers. They're gonna happen, I'm sure. Next up, we have Tom Holland. Now, he is wearing Paul Smith, and I love Tom, but like, we need to step it up, TH. It's not that exciting, not that fun, not that cool, not that moment, and we need to like at least get to like a 50% aspect of like where Zendaya is. You know what I mean? Like, she's constantly giving it, and I'm not saying that you have to like steal the spotlight, because no offense, you probably can't, but like who could? But I would say like, let's look at the ASAP and Rihanna thing. You know what I mean? Like, ASAP has like good, nice, solid moments that are great in and of themselves. They pay a little bit of homage to like what Rihanna sort of does, but she's the main character, you know what I mean? He's a supporting role and he understands that, but he still looks good. The thing about this pant is like, it just doesn't seem like it fits super duper well, and like it's Paul Smith, so it's meant to be very simple and like British and tailoring, and so like, why does it look like that? This sweater, I just feel like it doesn't make sense, and the shoe, that doesn't help either. And Tom is also like a Prada ambassador, so I'm like, where's my Prada menswear looks? Where are you? Because this is just not what I'm expecting. I'm expecting higher, top tier, more exciting, more fun, more intriguing. Method dressing, not just for Zendaya, should be for everybody. Next up, we have Zendaya, and she is wearing this vintage Balmain gown. It's by Pierre Balmain himself from, I believe, like early 1950s haute couture. My understanding, Law Roach pulled it out of the archives thanks to Olivier Roustan. So I kind of love it. It's very sort of simplistic, very Balmain-esque in terms of the green, the black, and the red color-wise. I mean, that's also the colors of the Pan-African flag. That's so smart. And honestly, it's for the National Association of the Advancement of Colored People. That's what the NAACP stands for. And if you think about it, the NAACP is a civil rights organization that has pushed for civil rights within the United States for decades. And I feel like Zendaya is more or less sort of paying homage to Pan-Africanism ideology of it. And I think it's brilliant. Olivier also is a magnificent designer. And as much as I would love to see something fresh off of the runway, I think this is just a great example of like a beautiful haute couture gown that has that slight, subtle nod to what the event is. And it just sort of again proves that the relationship between Zendaya and Law Roach is brilliant. It's smart, it's intellectual, and at the same time, like, it's drop dead gorgeous, it's stunning, it's that sort of beautiful old world quality too. So stun, gorge, iconic, wonderful. And next up, we have Zoe Kravitz. She's gonna close us out for today. Now, this is what she wore to the Batman premiere. This Saint Laurent dress, I believe, is custom. It is a scalloped neckline with these little cutouts right to sort of showcase the under boob. And then it's just a column dress. It's stunning. Like, Zoe looks amazing. It's a very sort of simple black dress, which Anthony Vaccarello at Saint Laurent, that's kind of what he does. He's not trying to sort of do crazy avant-garde, over-the-top, rebellious, revolutionary things. It's usually very sort of slinky, very sort of fitted, very sort of simplistic, just nice quality clothes. I think the little scallop edge is intriguing, and the little cutout at the bust are also intriguing. I don't know if they're signifying something. Maybe they are. Again, like, I haven't seen a lot of the Batman movies, so I'm not really super duper sure if this is some sort of reference that I'm just not picking up on. So, like, apologies, but like, me watching the Batman, besides like the Michelle Pfeiffer one, like, what are you expecting? But I just do think it's a beautiful dress in and of itself. And again, that little cutout at the bust is really daring, and so we love to see it. So that is the end of today's video. Let's talk about the best and the worst. I'm gonna have to give the best to, oof, this is tough because there were some good ones. Ariana in that the Aiko look, Kim Kardashian and Loewe. I know it's gonna be controversial.
Get your fucking ass up and work.
Zendaya and Balmain. As for the worst, Tom Holland, sorry, Paul Smith, and Tom. So I would love to know what you guys think of all of these looks. Please let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to hear about it. I will see you guys in the next video, and TTYL.